Okay, hello everyone. Good evening to the Planning Advisory Committee for Wednesday, September 15th. It is 5 o'clock, so we're calling the meeting to order. If I could have everyone receive their agenda, so if I could have somebody move approval of the agenda, that would be great. Thank you, Leanne. Second by Jim. That's wonderful. Thank you. Declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest? Okay, none. Minutes of the previous meeting. Recommendation that the Planning Advisory Committee minutes for July 16th, 2021 be accepted as presented. Everyone has had a chance, no doubt, to read the minutes. Could I have somebody approve that recommendation? Oh, sorry, Lindsay, you were going to tell, I bet you're going to say you didn't ask for all in favor, right, for approval of the agenda?
I didn't even catch that. So if you did, yeah, that sounds perfect.
There you go. Okay, so backing up here, approval of the agenda, all in favor? Thank you. Oh, and I see Mayor Todd has thumbs up, so that's wonderful. And on to the minutes of the meeting. I believe, Leanne, it was you and second by Jim, is that correct? And yeah, all in favor? Perfect, thank you. And now getting into the reason why we're meeting here is report number 14-2021, site plan agreement regarding 220 Churchill Road West. Recommendation that the Planning Advisory Committee recommend that council approve the proposed site plan application SPC 2021-2, subject to the following conditions: that the balance of any outstanding taxes, including penalties and interest, and any local improvement charges, if applicable, shall be paid to the town, and that the site plan agreement of the lands shall be registered and be submitted to the town. If I could have somebody move that and second it, please, for discussion purposes. Leanne? Second by Jim, that's great. And with that, Matthew, if you wouldn't mind giving us the details of that topic.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. So we have in front of us this evening is a diesel card lock facility. It is a non-manned facility. There are no employees. There is no convenience store or place to go into. And so with card lock facilities, you already are a pre-identified customer. You're able to access the facility with usually a card, and then that allows you to do your refilling. So it's a very kind of simple development that we have in this particular case. And McEwen Petroleum is the one that is doing this. So there's already a card lock facility and a McEwen gas bar on Edward Street. Their intention is to put this one, the card lock part of the facility, on Churchill, which is what you see before you this evening. And then they'll be proceeding with redeveloping their current site on Edward and actually removing that card lock from that area and expanding the size of the convenience store as well as the gas bar. So just providing a little bit of history of how that came to be. They have one major customer in particular, which is a trucking company here in Prescott on Churchill, and so the location was very good for them. And currently there is a small building on the lot that would be demolished, and this would be put in its place. So when we worked through, we sent the information off to our engineers, EVB, to review the stormwater management, servicing, all of those types of things. They did have some back and forth to just clarify and make sure that everyone was in agreement with those plans. And we're happy to say that both our engineering firm was satisfied with the revisions that were made and submitted. And there's only one small calculation that's in hectares versus square meters. And so it's minor in nature, and they didn't feel that it was anything that needed to be held up. We also sent this on to our planning firm, which is WSP, And Angela Zhao is with us this evening as a guest from WSP, so able to answer any technical questions. And they identified a couple of concerns, or not concerns, but things that need to be dealt with from a zoning perspective. From the official plan perspective, this development matches what the area was envisioned for. When we get to zoning, we don't have a card lock only type of definition. So I believe when our zoning bylaw was created, the card lock facility was part and parcel of along with a regular fuel for passenger vehicles, as well as a convenience store. So really what it came down to was parking was a bit of a concern as to whether there needed to be parking on this or not. So we worked through that particular item with WSP. And from a staff perspective, we also worked with the applicant to say, could we add parking, which they have added one barrier-free stall adjacent to the small shed that's on the property, which is for just regular maintenance, as well as where their security and electrical comes into the overall property. So we felt that was sufficient in terms of parking. There is no other place for people to access other than the diesel fuel islands themselves. So that was certainly the one thing that we looked at. The other part was in pertaining to the width of the entranceway. And in our bylaw, it stated that 9 meters would be the maximum. With site plan control, we can deal with that when we're dealing with needing extra width to access the property for vehicle traffic, those types of things. And so we did have the applicant do a traffic opinion that provided, and so that was the reasoning behind the 12 meters wide, so that it could make the appropriate turn both from the left or from the east and from the west into the property, and be able to have adequate turn radius on that without having to block oncoming traffic. So those were really the two main points. The other were more housekeeping items in terms of making sure that it's noted the distance from the intersections, as well as the height of the building. It can't be any more than 15 meters tall. And we have confirmed with the applicant that it will be no more than 4 meters tall. So we were able to work through the zoning issues or further clarifications. And this is what we are putting in front of you this evening for contemplation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Lots of detail there, and the report itself was full of detail as well. Welcome, Angela. Thank you for attending. Any questions or concerns or comments from the committee for either Matthew or our WSP representative? Thank you. Jim, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Just a little clarity, if I could. So staff is saying that the proposed site plan conforms with the town zoning bylaw?
What we're saying is that in our opinion, because the zoning bylaw did not contemplate a card lock only facility, that the requirement for the number of stalls doesn't appear to be appropriate, and therefore we would suggest that while it doesn't comply, it will satisfy the needs for that particular, because what we were struggling with is it would say the number of service bays that you'd have to have, and there are no service bays in this case. So that's what we were taking a look at, but we were able to achieve the barrier free. And so it didn't seem to make any sense to be able to have a non-calculation to apply to that. In terms of the width of the entrance, then we did feel that there was some latitude in being able to address it through site plan control.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Leanne, do you have any comments or concerns?
Trying to mute myself. No, I was just concerned about the entrance, but I understand that it's a good idea to widen the entrance and the exit per se, because of the truck turning in there. So I have no concerns other than was that, and that was rectified.
Thank you. Actually, I was, when I continued to read on, I was grateful too to see that Crozier Consultants addressed that concern, because trucks are just that much more of a size. And I suppose it's good news that the existing convenience store is expanding. So that must mean demand is there. So that's interesting. Marita, do you have any comments or questions for staff or WSP?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Can everyone hear me okay? I apologize. I'm just on audio. I'm on my phone right now.
No, you're fine. You're coming in fine.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no real comments beyond that. It's another good example of the growth that we're seeing in the North End. I mean, it's not a surprise to see more growth focused on the transportation industry. I mean, we've got a great corporate citizen back there in Prescott. We have a lot of trucking interests in and around Prescott. So to see this sort of focus and the ancillary benefits that are happening as well, with, as you just mentioned, with that other expansion, that I think we're going to see just more of this. And the only concerns I would have, I think were already mentioned by Councillor Burton, and I think Jim touched on it a little bit as well. But I think that's all covered off in the report, and we're going to do the best job that we can to ease the new use and the added traffic, a little bit of added congestion. I think it's all been covered off quite nicely, and it should be a nice fit into that section of town. So. Good to see this development moving forward in the North End overall, and I think we're going to see a lot more in the next couple of years, especially as we get the rink on board back there. It's going to drive a lot of attention to that whole northwest corner of Prescott and into Augusta. So good stuff all the way around. Thank you.
Thank you. So if we don't have any more comments, Angela, just again, thank you for attending. But do you have any comments or concerns before we vote on this?
Hi, good evening, members of committee. I have nothing to add. Thanks for having me at the meeting.
Super, thank you. Okay, with that being the case, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, wonderful. That's carried then. Thank you for the detailed report, Matthew. Moving on to the agenda is new business. Does anybody have any new business they want to address here now? Okay, and then the last item is adjournment. So if I could have somebody move that again, and just for consistency's sake, why don't we say Leanne? And seconded by Jim, if you would. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, wonderful. We'll everyone have a very nice evening, and stay healthy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great night.